Hello and welcome, guys. Hope everyone's having a good Friday. Welcome to Huskers in Kansas City. I'm your host, Jake Brown. Wanted to do a different type of episode today. I want to preview the Indiana-Oregon game in the college football playoff semifinal, the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl, kicking off at 6:30 p.m. Going to go through the preview for that game. Going to give you guys my prediction. And then I want to give you guys some updates on the transfer portal for the Huskers. We got a new signing today. We've also got some new targets, and then one I'm very excited about, a highly touted defensive lineman out of Louisiana that I wanted to talk about. So let's get it started, you guys. Tonight's game is a contrast in styles. You've got pace and explosiveness of Oregon versus discipline and efficiency of Indiana. So what is Indiana good at? What are their strengths, right? Everyone's wondering how this team with barely any talent compared to some of these other teams in the playoff is having so much success. So what is it that makes them good? They've got an elite defense. They're allowing only 10.3 points per game on the season. That is insane to think about. Indiana football allowing 10 points per game on the year. Second nationally in scoring defense. They forced 26 turnovers. That's sixth nationally. Golly, man. Does anyone remember the last time Nebraska's forced 26 turnovers in a season? So defensively, all season long, they've been getting after quarterbacks, causing turnovers, minimizing points being put up. The best teams play the best defense, and they've had the best defense all season. Second, their offense is balanced. It's not just Fernando Mendoza throwing it to Elijah Surratt and Omar Cooper. They run the football well as well. Very balanced run and the pass. Their rushing game wears you out. Their offensive line is physical. You remember the first game against these teams in September. Indiana won that game on the ground. Their physicality on the offensive line. So it's not a one-dimensional offense. Fernando Mendoza, the Heisman Trophy winner, can sling it. Very accurate. Doesn't make mistakes. But it's a balanced attack, scoring 41 points per game on the season. Another metric that's just super surprising, thinking about Indiana. Indiana is only allowing 10 points a game, and they're scoring 42 points per game. I mean, talk about domination. Third strength of Indiana, their front seven, baby. Their front seven. Again, not a ton of talent. These are not 5- and 4-star recruits like Oregon. These are lower tier guys, developmental guys that Kurt Cignetti has gotten the most out of. But their D-line and their linebackers, I've watched a lot of film on this team, watched a lot of their game highlights. They're tough, they're physical, and they're well-coached. Very well-coached. One of the best tackling teams I've ever seen. They get after quarterbacks. They get a lot of pressure on opposing quarterbacks. One of the best in the country at getting sacks. That'll be a big matchup to watch. Can Oregon protect Dante Moore? So the strengths, recapping the strengths for Oregon, their defense, elite defense, hardly give up any points per game. They have a balanced offensive attack with Fernando Mendoza in their running game. And their front seven, man. Their front seven, defensive line and linebackers are ferocious. Oregon, what are they good at? Well, number one, they've got a high-powered offense. They can score in a lot of ways. They can score from anywhere on the field, and they can score quickly. They put up a lot of yards per game, a lot of points per game, top 10 in pretty much every statistical category on offense. But they've got a lot of speed on the outside. Their skill players are explosive. A lot of guys they can get the ball to. So that's another that's an advantage for Oregon, something to watch tonight. Can Indiana minimize the big plays of Oregon? Second, they also have a great defense, Oregon. I think sometimes the perception is they're, Oregon puts up a lot of points, flashy, speed, a lot of high-scoring games with little defense like the old Big 12 days. But no, Dan Lanning's got himself a strong defensive unit. They have a great secondary. They don't give up a lot of big plays. Yards per play is one of the lowest in the country. Their defensive line is stacked. The difference between Indiana's D-line and Oregon's D-line, both great defensive lines, but the talent disparity. Oregon's got that transfer from USC. What's his name? Bear Alexander, who Nebraska was going after initially last year when he entered the portal. He's a giant, and he's not the only one. They've got a bunch of guys on that D-line that can get after the quarterback, just like Indiana can. Their third strength is their speed. Like always, they always have speed. Receiver, running back, pretty much every position, and that's an advantage that they have. They've got more speed and more talent than Indiana. Indiana's been able to mitigate that with their discipline, not turning the ball over, putting teams in long third and long situations. But there is a talent disparity, and it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. So speed is the last strength for Oregon. Let's get into the keys for the matchup. What does Indiana have to do to win this game? Number one, control the line of scrimmage. They did that in the first matchup in Eugene in September. Indiana won that first matchup 30-20, running the football, controlling the line of scrimmage. Two, they also did this in the first matchup. They need to pressure Dante Moore. Get him uncomfortable. Get him on the ground, strip the ball from him, get a turnover, pick him off, but it all starts with pressure, and they can do it. Third, they need to limit Oregon's big plays. They did that in the first matchup. If they can do it again, it gives them a great chance to win this game. Limit big plays. Oregon's got that speed all over the field. How can they manage that? Control the line of scrimmage, pressure Dante Moore, limit big plays. Those are the keys for Indiana. What are the keys for Oregon? What do they need to do? It's hard to beat a team twice. I will say that. Indiana won the first matchup on the road, but it's hard to beat a team twice, especially the best teams. What does Oregon need to do? Number one, finish drives with touchdowns, not field goals. They didn't do a good job of this in the first matchup. Finish drives with tutties, baby. Get it in the end zone. Two, protect the football. Whoever wins the turnover battle is going to win this game. Three, establish the run game. They did a pretty good job of this in the first game, but I think Indiana won the matchup in terms of running the football. I think whoever has the most rushing yards is going to win this game. In Oregon, you can't be one-dimensional. You've got to have a balanced attack to keep pressure off Dante Moore and to keep opportunities available in the passing game. The better they run, the more opportunities in the pass game, the more big plays they can get. So, with that, you got two contrasting styles, two really good football teams, two really well-coached football teams. Indiana, disciplined, don't make mistakes, force turnovers. They drag drives out, long, sustained physical drives. They want to play their pace. Oregon, speed, explosiveness, high-octane offense, multiple playmakers. They want to go fast. Here's my prediction. I said it's hard to beat a team twice, especially a good team. I think Oregon gets the upset. It's going to be a hard-fought one-possession game. I think Oregon pulls away late. Indiana will push them to the final minutes. But I think Oregon gets the upset 31-27. I think Dan Lanning gets the job done. It'd be a huge victory for this program who is still searching for their first national championship in football. And if there's a coach that I'd root for, it's Dan Lanning, man. Dan frickin' Lanning. I don't like Cignetti. I respect him. I think he's done a phenomenal job at Indiana. Kudos to him, but I just don't like him. I don't like his personality. I don't like his arrogance. I don't like the way he carries himself. I'm rooting for Oregon, and I think they're going to pull it out. It's hard to beat a team twice. Oregon's been there, done that. They've been in the playoffs before. They've been in big-time games. Indiana has the last couple of years, but I think the lights are going to get to them. It's going to be too bright. I think Oregon wins this game. Let me know your guys' thoughts. Do you agree with me? Disagree? What do you think is going to be the outcome? Who do you think is going to be the national champion this season? All right, let's get into some Husker updates. We've got some updates for you. I was disappointed a few days ago on our targets and just who we had on our list going after. Well, there's some new names. One from high school that I really like, a defensive tackle out of Louisiana. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about the portal, guys. So first things first, I want to give you the update on our commits so far from the transfer portal. Okay, so I've got it up here. We just got Kwazi Gilmer, the leading receiver from UCLA this past season, committed today. He's coming to Nebraska. I'm just thinking about him lined up alongside an Isaiah Hunter. I think that's going to be pretty dangerous. But this was the most productive receiver at UCLA last season, catching balls from Nico Iamaliava. I like it. Not a 4-star, not one of the top 10 rated receivers in the transfer portal, but a guy that had proven production both his seasons in UCLA, freshman and sophomore season, put up good numbers. So total, we've got 9 guys. Kwazi Gilmer just got him today, and then Anthony Jones, the edge from UCLA. Will Hawthorne, linebacker, Iowa State. Dwayne McDougal from San Diego State, the safety. Dexter Foster, the big linebacker at Oregon State. Owen Chambliss, linebacker, San Diego State. Anthony Colandrea from UNLV. He also started at Virginia his freshman season. I forgot to add that in the last episode. So he's got playing experience at multiple Power 4 schools. And then our top recruit so far in the portal, Brendan Black out of Iowa State. So 9 commits so far. Let's get into who we're targeting. So I said we need more D linemen, tackles, defensive tackles. Well, we're looking at this guy, Tafiq Thomas, an experienced defender out of Colorado. He's coming for a visit this week. He might actually be in town today. 3-star transfer portal, 6'4", 300 pounds. So another guy, depth piece. We need interior defensive linemen, big body. I think that'd be good. Not a highly touted guy. I talked about my frustrations with that, but I think right now we're taking what we can get. And I know we have a strategy with who we're going after. I think for depth and for competition this spring, this will be good. Next, offensive line, guard, interior offensive line from LSU, Paul Mubanga, 3-star in the transfer portal, 6'5", 317 pounds. He'll have 2 years left of eligibility. 1 year left of eligibility. Big guy, big. Just like Brendan Black, we're trying to get size on our lines, which is important. We've got to get better on the lines. So another one we just might be bringing in from LSU on the interior offensive line. Sean Tompkins, offensive tackle, which is an area of need. From Baylor, 6'5", 300 pounds, 1 year left of eligibility, another 3-star in the portal. He's currently a North Carolina commit, but he hasn't signed. So he's looking at coming to visit Nebraska. Still hasn't made his decision yet. So we're looking at Sean Tompkins from Baylor. Then another defensive lineman, Andy Berberija. Man, I butcher these names. Andy Berberija, defensive lineman out of junior college, Iowa Western Community College, which is a big-time program in JUCO. K-State's predicted to land him, but he is somebody that's coming to visit. He is on our radar, 3-star JUCO transfer. That'd be a pretty good pickup for us. Not great size, but a depth piece, somebody that can come in and compete on that defensive line. A quarterback we're looking at. I just saw this today. I don't know anything about him. He didn't play. He was redshirted this past season at Coastal Carolina, but this is obviously what I mentioned we were thinking of doing, getting another depth guy in the quarterback room. Colandrea is likely going to be the favorite to start, but I think this just adds competition, adds another depth piece to the quarterback room. So that's good. And then a corner, finally. Talked about my frustration with us not going after any corners. We're looking at this guy, another 3-star, which is just frustrating, but hey, he could produce. He could be better than scouts think. Victor Evans III out of Florida International, 6'1", 180 pounds. Put up good numbers for FIU. I think he could be a guy to come in and compete for that starting job opposite of Andrew Marshall. Just wish we'd be going after some guys from, higher profile schools. Nothing against FIU, but, I'd rather be looking at the guy from Penn State. Let me look up his name real quick. What's this kid's name from Penn State? It's a cornerback. Kenny Woosley, that's not it. I don't know. I lost it. Oh, is it A.J. Harris? A.J. Harris. A.J. Harris from Penn State. That's who I would love to go after. Let me share it with you guys. This is who I would like to. I would like to go after this guy, someone at this level. This is what I'm talking about. A.J. Harris out of Penn State. Why can't we go after a guy like this? 5-star coming out of high school. Has 2 years of eligibility left. 6'1", 193 pounds. So bigger body than Victor Evans, the guy from FIU. So I don't know. I would much rather be going after a guy like that, but or at least we're going after somebody or a corner. So Victor Evans the third out of FIU. And then the one that I'm really excited about, this is not a transfer portal guy. This is somebody out of high school. Dylan Berryman, defensive tackle, 6'2", 330 pounds. This guy is a beast. Highly touted 4-star recruit. You see his rating on 247 Sports, 97th player overall, 12th best defensive lineman, 4th best player in Louisiana, which is a hotbed for talent. This is what I'm talking about. We're in a battle with Kentucky. He should be visiting today, I'm fairly certain. He's in Lincoln visiting, but we're battling it out with Kentucky. God, those bastards, always battling it out with them, I feel like. But hopefully we can trump them and get this guy from Kentucky. Hopefully we beat them out in a battle. They took Minchie from us. Let's go get Dylan Berryman. This would be huge for us. This is the type of prospect that I'm talking about that we need to look at. These are the types of guys that we should be pursuing. Man, I hope we get him. 6'2", 330 pounds, 4-star recruit. A lot of teams going after him. He was initially committed to Texas, but decommitted, and now he's looking at Nebraska and Kentucky. So he's in town for a visit today. Man, I would hope we can get him signed. That would be big for the defensive line. And he's a high school guy, so we'll have a lot of time to develop and a lot of years to produce for us. So I really was encouraged to see this. Finally, a high-profile recruit we're going after on the defensive line. Now let's just go after some corners and some rush ends. We need to go after some high-profile corners and rush ends. There's still some available that are out there. Just need to do it. This is what I like to see. That's all I've got today, guys. Again, Huskers signed Kwazi Gilmer, receiver from UCLA today. That's the loan update. Hopefully we sign this guy, Dylan Berryman, after his visit today, but I'll make sure to keep you guys updated. Let me know your thoughts on my prediction for Oregon, Indiana. Don't forget about Nebraska basketball tomorrow at Indiana, 11 a.m. I predicted Nebraska to win 70-67. So we'll see if that plays out. Let me know in the comments what you think. Give me your thoughts. I appreciate you guys tuning in. I hope you all have a great weekend. And as always, go Big Red.